Alright guys, hello, welcome to the video. We're going to be playing the Tier 5 Leopard now. We just got done with a session in our Basoto. I reset this just so we have a fresh counter for the Leo. And this tank, man, this tank, like, I like the 3cm a lot. I just find it to be very inconsistent. The 5cm was better for me to mark this vehicle with. I've now gone down a little bit on the mark since putting the 3cm on, just because I feel like I cannot do enough damage in the games that aren't close, right? Like, I just feel like you need a close game to be able to build up damage with the 3cm, whereas the 5cm is much more versatile, and you're able to build up damage, quicker and easier because you have the range to do it, right? And all. So the thing is with this tank is someone had asked me, like, you like the Covenanter, why don't you like the Leopard? And it really, to me, comes down to I think, the DPM. Because if you look at the Leopard with the 3cm and you look at the DPM, it's 1271. So look here, and also look at the dispersion and stuff, and look at the Covenanter, man. Again, I do have bounty vents on my Covenanter and Full Brothers in Arms, but like, look at the difference in DPM, man. 2243 to 1271. So I think that's the main reason. This gun is really fun when you can empty an entire clip and fully pen like all of your shots. So you kind of have to be in close range. It's a really weird tank, man, because it's also really fat. It's not that fast, right? If you're lucky, you might doink a couple shells off the front, because it actually does have some like front hull and turret armor a little bit. So if you're angled perfectly or something, you might get a weird ricochet on the front of this thing. But this tank is so fat, man. I'm surprised the concealment is what it is here. I am running the vents to get a little more, and also for the view range. But yeah, in terms of gun choice, guys, I think the right way to play this tank, to enjoy it, if you're doing anything other than trying to 3-mark it, the Ratatata 3cm gun is going to be your best bet, right? Just because it's fun. It's kind of OP in close quarters and all, but if you're trying to 3-mark this thing and you're anything like me, like, in order to be consistent, you need to run the 5cm. That's just the way it is. I was even talking to Highland Dirk about this. He was asking me about it, and I told him that I had 3-marked it with the 5cm. The 3cm is really fun. That's why we're going to do a session with it, because I wanted to switch back over to this gun and kind of enjoy myself. We had one good game, one bad game. I got wrecked on Pilson by Artie and also by the enemy Leopard, because I kind of went to the mid at first, and then I went out to the mounds over there, and we got wrecked, man. Most of the team was like camping the 0 line, and the Leopard just isn't really good for like trying to run down that bush line, in my opinion. It's way too big. You can kind of do it, but then you run into a situation where if you get YOLO'd, and I will show you guys this in a Batchat 12T video that you'll probably see before this session, why I don't like going out to that area, because you end up getting pushed by other tanks, and then your teammates can't support you. You go down into that ditch line on Pilson, and you're screwed, man. And with the Leopard, you have no DPM to fight your way out of it. So that's why I'm very cautious with how I play this vehicle, but also cautious when I play on Pilson. But yeah, that's it, guys. Like, this tank, man, it's just, I don't like trying to aim in with the 3cm from a distance and do this little like at people and like trying to get the shots to pen. It's just so quirky, and that's why I ended up running it with the 5cm. But we're going to play with the 3cm today. Reset the counter. Let me even, are these my own things going on? No, these are the clan reserves. So let's just do this. And another thing with this tank, a couple other things, there's no gun depression in the front, so you got to be cautious with that, for one. Another thing is, again, the tank is really, really fat, so you're going to think sometimes you're good in a bush, and you're just not, because the tank is so wide, right? And you're also going to run into a problem with that. So the tank is like, you just have to, you really have to adjust your playstyle with the Leopard. You cannot play this thing like a standard light tank with this 3cm. You got to kind of do these like pokes. Like, it's almost like a peekaboo type of tank, man, in my eyes. Like, you really have to get fancy with how you play this thing, and don't go crazy trying to like passive scout and all that stuff, man. And again, be cautious of the gun depression in the front, and just be extra cautious with putting yourself in a situation where you're going to need DPM, you know, because there's a fine line between getting into close quarter combat and being able to pepper someone with 12 shells and then not having the support to do that, right? You have to find a way to, like, get close enough where you can whack people with the machine gun, but still have support, enough support behind you where you don't get YOLO'd. So it's really, like, this tank is tricky, man. It really is. And that's why I don't like it with the 3cm, because it just really requires this unique, supportive, I guess, kind of playstyle where you can be aggressive with it, but then once you empty the clip, you have like a 15 or 16 second reload. So even right now, this could be risky if someone like pushes here. Luckily, the E25 is right behind me, but it's just weird stuff like that, man. Like, this is a tier 7 game, so it's very easy to get outplayed, and you just got to be really, really careful about that. So I'm going to poke this bush, see what I see here. Maybe we can get some spotting. Here's the side of the T25. Yeah, just do that, man. Just let the clip rip. And this is what I mean, man. It's like, even the side with the standards, he turns and stuff. 58 damage we got out of that clip, you know? So, wow. I'm kind of surprised, like, how that angle of that arty shot. He's, like, all the way over here. That's where it looks like it came from. How's that even possible? So he's sitting, like, way back in this corner over here. Okay, I'm going to load the APCRs. T25 should blind fire. Okay, it's going to. Maybe he'll do it again. I'm really not a fan of this spawn. Like, this side of this map. I feel like the other side has a much better angle at everybody. This one, you have, like, all these buildings here. I don't like it at all, man. And then you get arty shooting you. Like, I just feel very exposed up here compared to the other corner. Okay, 155. So, I guess it's an okay start so far, but like this thing, man, like I said, it's like, it's really tricky to play with this gun. I think this is a stupid poke. I don't think I want to make this poke. Actually, I think I want to get out of here while I still can. Let's try to run away from here. I think you can fall off of here safely. Like right here, maybe. Okay. I'm going to start coming back because I don't like the way this is looking. We have just the T20, well, we did, and now or the E25 rather, and now the Rudy is sitting back here and he's the only one. I'm not even going to be able to help this guy, I don't think, because I don't think I have the range. And that's where this tank becomes so freaking tricky, man. Like, I'm not going to stay over there with the Rudy against the Cromwell and, like, a T29 and all. Like, I can't fight these tanks, man, with this gun, especially. So now we have to find a way to try and do damage over here. And just support these guys, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, this is kind of a weird game. I'm gonna try my best, though. Okay. Got 121 out of that. And this is just one of those situations, guys. Like, I would much rather have, right now, the 5cm. Like, all day, every day, I'd rather have the 5cm right now. This is just kind of one of those weird situations, man, where we need DPM, if anything. Like, if we're even going to make this close. so bad with this gun. We did a little damage there. But this is why, like in this situation, man, all day I'd rather have the freaking 5cm. Because this is not a good situation, and I need the DPM, man. I don't need this little crap from, you know, like 300 meters away. And you could say, if I played it differently, well, Whirls, you should have just done this, and then you could have been in close quarter combat. It's like, yeah, but this is the way I play my tanks, so it's tough, man. Like, you can kind of adjust your playstyle, but like this is what I know how to do, so. Thinking about coming back like this and getting an angle on these guys. I think we need to start doing that instead of just not even trying to move over here. We need to try and get a better angle. This. Okay. Sit right here. I think we're already safe if we go like right here. Tier 7 arties, man. It's like, fuck off, dude. Frontally, I can't do anything to this guy. These guys are going to push in, though. I don't know if this is the smartest play. Yeah, I can't do anything to him. I tried. Alright, let's load the standards and see if we can maybe... I don't know if we can spot this M10 or T25 that are over here. We need to start branching out, though, and spotting for the team, I think, at this point. We gotta figure out where people are. Ugh. The T25 AT actually is pretty hard, I think. Maybe this wasn't the smartest play. Just gonna, like, run right across the field here. Not trying to be fancy with this anymore. There's the 18. Just kind of hoping Artie can hit this guy, and if the M10 YOLOs me, then my team has shots. Yeah, I can't do anything frontally to this guy. Okay. Yeah, the power to weight ratio is really not that good on this thing. Okay. Someone clean up the Hummel. And again, another situation where I'd want the 5cm, right? Because you just hit a couple shots. Like, instead of doing this machine gun crap, I'm sitting down here now for 15 seconds waiting to do 42 damage on the Hummel, you know? So it's just, it's like... Anybody can come into the comment section and say, like, oh, well, you should play it like this, you should play it like that. But when you have a set play style, you're going to select the gun you're most comfortable with. And what I hate is when people like punish you for picking a certain gun choice. Um, if when you just have the goal of trying to three mark the tank, right? You know, like nowhere in any video did I say, like, oh, when I three mark the Leopard, I actually want to be a really good player with the 3 cm and play it the proper way, you know, or with the AMX ELC BIS, like with the 90 mm, like I really want to play with the 90 mm because I want to be as good as I can in the vehicle, and I want to three mark it with the 90 mm, like nowhere did I say that I want to be an expert with either vehicle. I'm just looking to three mark it, and you have that option, right, to play with a different gun. And I'd rather play with a standard gun because that's what's most comfortable to me. So nowhere did I say I want to play 1,000 battles and become an expert with the ELC 90 mm or the Tier 5 Leopard. I want to be an expert with this vehicle. I want to play 1,000 battles and get good with the 3 cm. Like, nowhere did I say that. So I that's what I dislike about people saying, oh, like, wrong gun, Whirls. Like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm doing what I want. That's what I'm doing. You know what I mean, guys? Like, play the tank with what you're comfortable with, But if you want to get really, really good with a tank that has a unique gun, you have to play with the unique gun, right? In my eyes. Like, if you want to be a really good player with it. But if you're just looking, if your goal is just to mark the tank, you don't necessarily have to do that. Have to play with the unique gun on it. So I knew this Panzer was going to poke here. I can't even fully hide. See how fat this thing is, man? Like, I can't even fully hide from this guy. Help. I'm really uncomfortable. Like, I much prefer being on this spawn because it's so much easier to, like, just run away. Like, here, you're really in harm's way, man. Like, you got to be really careful of these gaps. All the tank destroyers can hit you. I feel like this is not balanced over here at all for this spawn. But I think once you win it, it is. Like, if you can win it, then yeah, you have an extreme angle over this side. But if you get all these people here that don't want to do anything except just sit there and camp, then you run into an issue, right? The goal is to push this because you're kind of exposed here. And I don't want to run right into the Panzer IV. Okay, I think we have him now at a one-shot. Like, see these gaps, man? You gotta be, like, so careful of these gaps. I don't really fully understand this, like, where I'm safe here, is I think what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like you just gotta be really careful the way you play it. Okay, now we throw out an F7 and we push this guy, because I think I have enough. I've whittled down his HP enough where I can clean him up now. Let's see if we can get some recruits here. I'm spotted. Okay, Leopard's here. Just gonna throw my clip into him. Hope the Jackson will support me here. Because then, like, the T-52 might have shots from here, like, if you lose the hill. You know what I mean? It's just, like, really tricky. Whereas over here, you have this one little spot where you can just continue to poke unless people do what I'm doing now. Okay. Look at this Jackson. He's 3-marked too, man. Like, get involved, my man. Yeah. So he's getting involved and all. Get involved, guys. They're doing well. They're actually doing well. Was that an AP round by the Artie? And again, I note, guys, make sure you have the mid one if you're going to make this play. Otherwise, these shots are easy for people in the mid. Like, you'll get whacked here. We're gonna end up dying here, man. There's just... I don't have the support, man. I don't want to poke because I don't want to get hit by the freaking leopard either. I think this is a good situation for this gun, though. I have to say. I think this is the right... See what I mean, man? Like, it's so easy for him to just, like, shoot me because he's pre-aimed and all. Like, that's where the gun is good. 232 damage he did. At least we spotted the type. Like, you can't... You have to play this thing with support, you know? And, like, pre-aim areas and stuff like that. That's where it's really, really good. It's really, really powerful. 113 to the STRV. I would have thought we'd do a little more than that, but... Come on, shoot this guy. Or is he at the wrong angle? Tunnel visioning on him, too. You know who I really need over here is the Type 64, man. I think he's stuck, like, right, he's sitting right here, man. Trying to lure this type around the corner, because again, I don't want to get hit by the leopard. That's why I wasn't directly supporting the thunderbolt. And I finally do poke around the corner, get the guts to poke around the corner, and the leopard's just still sitting there, man. It's like, what can I do? We could still try and run away from here, but I just don't think there's much else that I could really do in this situation. We have to... If we win this side of the map, we're in good shape. The Nash and Stug are up here. I can't really do anything from here. There's a leopard. I know he was going to do some stupid shit. Orange players, red and orange players are always so predictable, man. And you guys, I'm telling you, some of you insult me for running XVM. This is why I run XVM, man. So I can see clear as day that this guy is an orange player, which means he's average at best, and then he's going to be like, oh my god, I can run off the cliff and dive on this guy. It'll be funny. You know, that's the mindset these guys have. Nothing against that. Have fun, man, but... Just throwing out the example of why I run XVM, guys, so I can sort of at least predict what somebody is going to do. I have a feeling that we're going to poke this corner, and the Su-100Y is going to be sitting right here, and we're going to get spanked. But I have to make a play to do this at some point. There he is. .332 in the face. All right. Trying not to spam the APCRs, man, but the pen is just not very good. Another thing I was going to mention to you guys that I didn't mention earlier is you lose a lot of credits playing this tank. Like, you will lose a lot of credits trying to play this vehicle. Because you have to load the APCRs a lot. I just feel like the pen is too lacking, you know? on the standards for like tier 6s and stuff like that. Okay, just the Jackson. There he is. Now we YOLO Artie. YOLO the Leaf. You see what I mean about shotgunning, guys? Like how easy it is for Arties to do this? You know? He hit me right in the top of the tank, too. Like, look where that shot went. Right in the very top of the tank. Like, he just pokes out, he's just like, boom. Like, it's like, why is it that easy for Artie to do that shit, dude? It really shouldn't be that easy. And I had, how much? 240 HP or something like that? Like, half of my HP? When you don't have armor, it's so easy for them to do this, man. It's so freaking easy for them to do that shit. 1434 damage. Not bad. 1393 assist on mines. Okay. And we lose 28k. Yeah, the consumables. Plus, we have to use the large repair kit. Another thing, the engine. Okay, the engine. So you have the weird gun depression. The engine is always getting hit. It's not durable. Weird gun depression in the front. Engine issue. You have to load APCRs a lot. It's a really fat tank, you know. The 400 meters of range, if that wasn't awkward enough already, but I'm used to it because of the Covenanter. There's just a lot of things going on with this vehicle that make it different than your typical light tank. If I had to like say that, if I had to really give you like a describing phrase for this tank, that's what it would be. That's what it would be. If I had to give a very descriptive phrase for this tank, it's very quirky, and there's just a lot going on that separate it from your average light tank. This guy must be a reroll. Less than 1,000 battles, 3,800 win rate, 65% win rate. I never trust these players because I always feel like they pad low tiers. Somebody accused me of padding low tiers. Like, my average tier level is 7, if you would call that padding low tiers. But I see people that literally only play like tier 4 and 5 to get a high win rate. You know, like my dad plays the lower tiers because he enjoys them the most. But I wouldn't say he's padding win rate, right? Like, there are people that will literally play, like, if I only played the Covenanter, I would have like a 7k win rate, man. You know? So I'm always careful with these players. And there you go. He's clearly not that good of a player if he just died like that. It also could be just wrong. Like, there's times where people will just start the game, they'll have like a couple of battles, and they had really good first few battles, and it says that they have like a 10k win rate, and I'm like, what the heck? But this is, so I told you guys, I use it to determine what kind of plays players will make, but if you see that 0k battles, you're like, all right, well, who knows? We're not quite sure how good this guy is yet. When you see 1k or more battles, then you can make your determination, right? But again, people like are trying to say I'm stat padding and all this at lower tiers, or I run XVM to look at my own stats. Like, dude, it's not that I don't care about stats, but I'm looking at other people's stats. That's why I want to use XVM. I'm looking at other people's stats. They have a lot of players in this area. I'm trying to find the best way. Like, maybe I should have unblocked Himmelsdorf and Ensk before playing with this vehicle, man. Because that's the thing with this tank, is it's like, it's really about burst damage. And I'm almost wondering if I'd have more damage in the Covenanter if I didn't have Himmelsdorf and Ensk blocked. But I just always keep them blocked, so never really thought twice about it. Nice. Okay, 266. reload and poke again. I'm trying to find the best way to just, like, dive in and dive out. These maps are just too big. We got to get in here against, like, this STRV. This is where this tank pays off, man. You need to do these, like, really aggressive little maneuvers like this, like on the Covenanter. Hopefully we don't get hit by any tank destroyers in the back. They still have a Hellcat back there, I think. Well, you got to go after this Covenanter, man. And though he has burst damage, like, this is where this tank pays off, man. You got to get, like, really close to people like this. And just, like, burst the crap out of them, man. And then hide. Until you can reload. And rinse and repeat. And there's just some games where you just can't really do it that well. The Gorilla, we just wrecked the Gorilla, man. But, I mean... there's just some games where it works better than others, is what I'm saying. You know? Really hate when people drown themselves, man. It's just, it's such a weak play, man. It's a reportable offense, too. I always want to report those people, man. It's so stupid. Like, don't do that, guys. Don't be one of those people that drowns yourself when the game's over. Like, try. Just try. I know the matchmaking sucks, but... God, it's just like... it's despicable to me. The players that do that, man. It's despicable. Literally despicable. It's so unlikable, man. When the game's over, then you do it. I'll show you guys how to properly drown yourself. This is how you do it. You wait till the game's over, and then you fling yourself off a cliff. And go in the water. When the game's over. Alright, one more, guys. One more. How are we doing so far with this? 1130 damage. We're actually playing it pretty well. I don't even really remember the first game that well, but it must have been decent. Let's get one more out of this. But this gun is fun, right? It's just not consistent, guys. That's the thing. It's fun, but it's not consistent. And I think anyone who says otherwise is crazy. I mean, if you're really good at making an inconsistent gun be consistent, then you're going to be good with this tank. But when you get maps like this, like, you have to be willing to change your playstyle to make it work really, really well, which is, again, what I was saying before about playing like this tank, the ELC, even the Covenanter. Like, you have to be willing to adapt and slightly change, even sometimes greatly change your playstyle to make that gun work. And if you can do that really well and you want to do that, then you can make the tank work. But for me, it's like, I didn't even want to do that, you know? So, like, if I could just throw the 5cm on it, I throw the 5cm on it. But if you really want to make the tank work in the absolute best way it can, then you have to be willing to change your playstyle a bit. That's just the reality, man. So instead of going out spotting like where the cruiser is going, I'm sitting right here because I have the burst damage. So if someone pokes here, it's Panzer T-25, man. What is this guy doing? There's no one here, right? Shoot this Chihi, maybe. Chihei. There we go. But you want these, like, you want close range, man. Like, there's not even anyone here. I could have taken a clip at the start there, but... And so if you understand how to play this tank really well with the 3cm, what I'm saying is you're going to do really well in it. But you have to be willing to change your playstyle. And like for that shot, we could have just done that little like, you know, we could have done that. But this tank, it just doesn't work at long range. It's not made for long range. With the 5cm, I could have had probably more damage by now already. Maybe 400 or something like that, you know. These guys are throwing their tanks away. I'm hoping the P26 is going to poke here, and we'll be able to outspot him. With my concealment and view range, we should be able to do that. Okay, getting some spotting on the M10. But this tank just becomes like a peekaboom master, right? So wait for the P26 here. That's where it's paying off, man. Where people are just kind of, you know, yada-da-da-da, and then all of a sudden you spank them for 350 damage. Like all of a sudden, it sounds like rain hitting their tank, right? It sounds like it's raining on your tank, and they're like, what the heck? What the heck? That's where the tank is paying off. You gotta, like, poke and surprise people, man. And I'm just not an expert at doing that. I'm not. Like, I'd much rather sit back here. Okay, the Leopard was just spotted. Take a shot at the Leopard, like, as he's pushing in or something, you know? Like, distance. Distance is my... What's the word I'm looking for, man? My preference, I guess you could say. Distance is my preference. Okay, do we now adjust? I think we go east here. Can we maybe poke in and help with this T1 head? Okay, good, run. All of the standards. I'm hoping to meet like this Panzer IV or Leopard before it's too late. Before they push up here. There he is. Good. Don't get hit by the Panzer. 10 hit me though. I feel like I'm gonna get RD'd here. Bad. Oh, wrong way. Wasn't even sure I'd be spotted from that. Back to the T40, pull back. Is what it is. 1480 damage, 176 assist. That's where, like, when you get a tank that you can pen all the shots easily, 333 into the T40. But if you want to do that well, you can flank too. You can also flank. So, like, it works, man. It's just, for me, it's not the best, you know? Like, I'm always going to be better with the 5cm, and who knows, we might have been able to make this game closer with the 5cm, but we lost a lot of our team. But in the right situation, like, this thing is OP. This gun is ridiculously OP in the right situation. It requires the right situation, guys. You know, and I don't know how else to say it other than that. I really like to give you guys a lot of details on tanks when I do sessions and talk about everything I possibly can. But that's really the reality of this tank, is it's unique, and in order to be an expert in it, and I think expertise was the word I was looking for earlier. Like, it's not my expertise. My expertise is distance and standard guns. But if you want to be an expert with this thing, you're going to have to change your playstyle. Like, look at this team, man. Like, come on, man. I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to carry this one. But I think we played it okay, all things considered. We played 4 battles. We averaged 1,218 damage, which is pretty good. 6,093 WTR. Again, it's pretty good. We won 3 of the 4. And, yeah, I mean, for damage, the thing is, a lot of these tanks I played like a long time ago. So with the Leopard, like the last time I played this, other than just marking it now, was like years ago. So I never focused damage as much as I do now. Even with the ELC, I had under 700 damage, and then we averaged like with this 75 millimeter, we averaged 1100 something damage in this tank a game. And still, I wouldn't say that's like Unicum level. It's really good, but you can see like how low it used to be when I played this vehicle. So that's it, guys. I think we're going to move on. We're going to play something else now. Maybe the T-52 again, but we just did a session in that not long ago. So I think we'll do a Covenanter session, and I'll see you guys for that one. Take care. Bye-bye.